Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding. Today the date is 19 November 2017. Time right now is 12:55 in the afternoon. All right, I just wanted to give you my thoughts about VAT in the UAE. All right, as of now, there is a lot of speculation about how VAT is going to impact the people in UAE. Many people are kind of skeptical. Some people are saying, well, it's things are going to happen. Here is me just sharing with you my thoughts about UAE and VAT. Now, just to give you a background, I was the second generation of expatriates in the UAE. My parents were there for nearly 50 years, somewhere around 50 years. I was there for 36 years, and I left UAE before my expiry date came. Because what happens in the UAE, an expatriate is kept there until he is no longer useful. Well, the day you cannot get a visa, you cannot get a job, you're asked to leave the country because they don't offer citizenship. And then when you go back to your own country, nobody knows you, nobody wants you. You're just in no man's land. So for me, I had to make the tough choice of leaving the place where I'd spent my childhood, where I had all my memories, my friends, everything else. So it was tough, but I had to say goodbye before UAE would throw me out. So it was like a relationship with a partner whom you know one day is going to kick you out. So before your partner kicks you out, you say, today I have enough money, I have enough savings, everything else, I'm going to say goodbye to you. I call the shots. So now coming to VAT. What you need to know about VAT, here are some of the highs and lows that I'm going to share with you. Now, some people are saying that VAT is only going to increase the price of certain commodities. Like, for example, what is going to be taxed in terms of value-added tax? One is food, food, water, electricity, jewelry, cars, car rentals, electronics, smartphones, watches, dining, entertainment, commercial rents, tenancy contracts, plastic surgery, hotel and service apartments, private public schools and uniforms, and private school books. Okay, this is what is going to be taxed. What is exempt, what is not going to be taxed, is medical fees, examination fees, air travel, local transport, medicine, resident rents, basic preventive surgery, and public school books. Now, personally speaking, how I look at it as is, you are taxing every single thing, and you are expecting the public to believe that rest of the stuff is not going to be taxed. That is garbage. Okay, that's seriously garbage. Now, why is the Middle East, why is UAE or many other countries charging a VAT? Is because they know for a fact revenues are dropping down. They know for a fact that they can't depend only on oil. They know for a fact that cars are going to be electric very soon. Countries are going to look at better options than depending on the Middle East because of all the political tension. So they want, they don't want to be dependent on the Middle East. And so when people are not dependent on someone, their importance goes away. The Middle East has enjoyed this kind of real superior importance of going around the world, showing, you would see in so many countries like London, US, the West, where many of these Arabs, they go and, they flash their expensive cars, they splash their expensive lifestyle. You have so many blogs, Instagram posts and videos showing that, oh, I'm so rich, I have a tiger, I have a lion as a pet, I have 12 super expensive cars, I live an expensive lifestyle. Now, even though that is hardly maybe 2% or 5% of all the Arabs, the thing is, Arabs basically enjoy a very expensive lifestyle. Why? Because the government supports them, and that is good. I don't say that is bad. However, taking this as a standard and taking this for granted, kind of has a price to pay. And the governments have realized we can't keep pampering our citizens. We can't keep giving them a super expensive lifestyle, because in the end, if all the Arabs are earning big money and living a big expensive lifestyle, who's going to do the mediocre work? Now, for example, in the UAE, all the Arabs are expected to get really big salaries. In fact, I've spoken to so many Arab local youngsters. They believe that the starting salary for a graduate, I'm talking of a graduate who has zero experience, who doesn't know anything, who's not even the best in terms of his education, that student, those average students are expecting 10,000 US dollars as a starting salary, tax-free, 10,000 US dollars. While an Indian or Pakistani or Bangladeshi or an expat who comes to UAE, who is an expat, who is just a graduate, is expecting somewhere around 500 to 1,000 US dollars as a starting salary. So you see 500 to 1,000 US dollars and 10,000 US dollars. Both of them are the same. Both of them have the same knowledge. Both of them have the same experience. The only difference is this guy here, or these women, they have the citizenship. These here have an expatriate kind of Eastern passport. Now, I'm not talking of the West. The Western expatriates in the Middle East get much more higher. That is a fact. Everyone knows, but nobody talks about it. They give you a salary based on your nationality. Okay, so better if you're a Western expatriate, you get paid much more. If you're from the East, you have an Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan passport, you get paid less. If you're an Arab citizen, you get the paid highest. Okay, that's how it is. I don't know if you call it racism. I don't know if you call it whatever, but that is how the rule is, which I don't agree with. I think that in the long term, it's going to harm the country itself, because you are pampering your own citizens. You're giving them the easy way out. Don't expect them to work hard. Never, never expect them to work hard. That's not going to happen. So it's like having a child in the house. You're giving everything easy for the child. The child is never going to take life seriously. But if you put the child through really tough times, the child will grow. So now, coming to VAT, the biggest problem with VAT, I'll tell you, the biggest problem with VAT is, now the Arabs who are getting a higher salary will want an even higher salary. The expatriates who are already getting a lower salary, they can demand, but they're not going to get it. So what they're going to do is they're going to leave the Middle East. Okay? Now, obviously, they're going to go back to their country. Now, here's the problem. When you are an expatriate in the Middle East, especially in UAE, they take your passport away from you. I'm serious. They take your passport away from you. The majority of the employees, if you go to Sharjah Free Zone, if you go to any local employer, any local company, even the companies I work for, all of them took my passport away from me, because it's just a untold, unwritten rule. There are companies in Dubai, there are government companies that do not take your passport, but majority of them, they take your passport away from you, and you are a slave. You can't escape. You can't go away. You can't even go back to your own country. You can see those videos. You don't have to believe me. So now what is going to happen is, expatriates are going to ask, I need a bigger salary. The employer is going to say no. The employer is going to realize, then why am I being here? So here you got a husband, a wife, and 2 children. As it is, they are struggling to pay for their bills. As it is, rent eats up 60 to 70% of all people's incomes. Now, if they lose, if they lose up to 70%, then next it comes for their children's school fees, which is really high. It's not cheap, and the education in UAE is horrible, terrible. It's disgusting. Okay. I studied in Sharjah Indian School, which is one of the most atrocious schools. The teachers get paid even lesser than laborers, some of them. The quality of education is crap. Most of them, like my English sir used to say, apple, A-P-P, early apple. That's how they speak and pronounce. Most of them come from South India. They get paid horrible salaries. They can't even get a job anywhere else, even if their life depended on it. And these people are educating our future generation. So, when you have expatriates whom you're talking about children whose money goes into education. So you have electricity, water, rent, you have all these other expenses like groceries. What do you save? So then the person, the only choice he has is, he sends his children back home. He tells his wife, let's both of us work and let's try to make ends meet. If the wife cannot get a job, then the wife is also sent back home. So then you have one single person and the whole family goes back. So now they are back, he's trying to earn in dirhams. However, he will remain there until he feels, oh yes, I can stay here. But his purchasing power goes down. From a proper studio apartment, he goes into sharing, which once again is illegal in UAE. It doesn't make sense. You don't pay people good salaries and you expect them to take a whole apartment, which is nonsensical. You charge them for parking fees. You charge them for, you give them extraordinary fines. Tailgating is a fine, which is good. but then you have so many other fines where people just don't know why they are being charged a fine for, and you can't argue with it. So now what is going to happen? Eventually the guy will realize, then why am I being in UAE? And then on top of that, you have companies that don't pay your salaries on time, companies that ill-treat you, companies that treat you like a slave. Instead of working 8 hours, you're supposed to work 16 hours or 12 hours. People would eventually say, why am I here? I might as well go back to India. And that is what is happening. People are going back to their countries, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they are going back. So Middle East is no longer the most important place. People no longer have that thrill of being in the Middle East. So now VAT is going to do all this. It's going to impact everyone. So one thing is for a fact, the prices are going to raise like crazy. You're going to have prices. Just one of my friends told me the other day, she used to go to, imagine, she's a model. She is trying to make it into the big leagues. And this is what she told me, that she used to go to IKEA to have salmon and mashed potatoes or vegetables for 25 dirhams. Let me just tell you, USD to AED, okay? She used to go to, that is IKEA, just to have salmon and vegetables for 25 dirhams because it was really cheap. Now, from $6, $6.81 in IKEA, because of the VAT, from 25 dirhams, it's gone up to 40 dirhams apparently. So from $6, it's gone to $10. Now you might say, oh, that's not a big deal. But if you're talking of a normal average person having to spend per person around $11 or $10.89 from $6.89, that's a big increase. Now, I'm just talking of one small thing. Imagine your food, your drinks, everything else is going to increase. Now, the government is saying, no, we are not increasing the price of necessary items. That's hogwash. They are telling you lies. Why? Because previously what they had is, you remember when the first Salik Gate is a road toll that was introduced, that was never there. They said, we are only going to charge you, I think it was 2 dirhams. I'm not too sure. Sorry, 4 dirhams. It was 4 dirhams. Yes, 4 dirhams. And that was only on the Garud bridge. Okay. So that was the first Salik toll gate. And they said, oh, we are having this toll gate, only one toll gate. That's about it. And that's to reduce traffic. Oh, okay, fine, whatever, reduce traffic. Before you know it, the second one came, the third one came, the fourth one came. And before they said, after being charged Salik 4 times, I think it was 4 times, you're not going to get charged again. Now they've changed the rule to, you'll get charged every time you go. So if you go 100 times, you'll get charged 100 times. So every time they are increasing the charges. They're telling you, we'll charge you only once, then they charge you twice. Now they say, we're going to keep charging you. So they're waiting for you to get desensitized. And once you get desensitized or whatever, they keep increasing, they keep pushing the envelope to see when will you break. So Salik has increased the price like crazy. Now you get charged Salik, before it was 4 times and then you can keep going unlimited number of times. Before it was only during the daytime, not during the nighttime. Now it's 24/7. Before parking was only 2 dirhams and it used to be 4 dirhams in certain places. Now it is almost 50 dirhams, 50 in some places per hour. Some places it's even gone every half an hour. Okay, so everything in Dubai the cost is going up. Every single thing. It's becoming so incredibly expensive to stay in Dubai. It doesn't make sense anymore. People are wondering, why should we even stay in Dubai? Okay, because you are having a luxurious life, but you're paying through your noses. So what is the point of living with water and debt right up to here and you're trying to show off? The minute the water comes here, you're finished, you're gone. So what I personally see it is, unless you're earning really large amounts of money, it's not worth being in the Middle East. Absolutely no. That is going to really, really impact you. The prices are going to go through the roof. Companies, one of my business friends said, before companies used to purchase in bulk and store it so that they could sell. They bought it for a low price and they'll sell it for a higher price. Now they don't even want to store. The reason being is because if they store, they have to give accounts. And then what will happen is they'll get charged tax for this. So better we'll order only when there is a demand for it. So businesses are going to get impacted. And remember this, end of the day, the government is making money left, right and center from people. It's charging people. It's charging for audited accounts. It's charging for the process. It's charging for each and everything. It doesn't make sense. It's like every day you're paying, your purchasing power is coming down and down and down and down. Just if you keep a statement of accounts, or if you keep an Excel sheet to know what it was that you were buying 5 years ago and what you can buy today, you'll be shocked to know that you have lost almost 80% of your purchasing power. All right, just think about what I'm saying. Maybe you disagree, maybe you don't agree. Maybe you agree, you don't agree. I don't know. But I'm telling you this, that is going to impact you like never before. You are going to find it very hard to stay in the Middle East, very, very hard, unless you get a 50% or 40% salary increment. It's not worth being in the Middle East, especially if you're earning everything and you hardly save even 20%. If you're not able to save 20% staying comfortably, then it's not worth staying there. Okay, this is what I have to say in terms of VAT in the Middle East. I definitely see the prices of every single thing, everything. I can challenge you, everything is going to go up. That is going to be the worst thing that's going to happen for the majority, 80% of the population that is middle class. For the rich, they're just going to, play the game in such a way where end of the day, they transfer this, the expense to others while they don't get hit so very much. So this is what I think about VAT in UAE. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your views. Put your comments in the comment section below. If you have any questions, law@Machedo.com, send it to me. And please, if you'd like to contribute to the channel, that's through PayPal, law@Machedo.com. And finally, if you want my services, go to thinkpersonalbranding.com. So this is me saying goodbye for now. Let me know what you think. Ta-da. Take care.